Okay. Mm-hmm.
And welcome to On the Mark. Today I'm going to talk to a young lady who's reinvented herself and had amazing success at 50. You've probably seen her face. Her name is Angelique Miles. I'll talk to Angelique next. And welcome to On the Mark. I'm Mark Clark. My special guest today is a friend I met in New York a few years ago, and I think she was at the beginning of a brand new chapter in her life. I'm talking about Angelique Miles. Angelique, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
And so, Angelique, as I was saying off the air, I think when we met, you were at the beginning of a brand new journey, correct?
At the very, 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 very beginning.
And so, Angelique Miles was a music executive, and at the time, I worked in New York at Radio 103.9, which has since closed its doors. I had a chance to, I saw Angelique on Instagram, and I reached out because she was just posting inspirational fitness messages. And I just reached out and had Angelique come in, and we had a great interview. And years later, Angelique is basically a 50-plus model who has endorsements all over the place, and it seems like they're growing every day. Is that accurate, Angelique?
Yes, it's really, beyond my wildest imagination. I did the Tamron Hall show recently. She had a segment on over 50 brands are contacting me every day. It's just really, really, it's a joy. I'm happy.
And so, Angelique, it's interesting because you just never know how you'll meet people and what the stories will be. So, again, I go to New York. I randomly, reach out to Angelique. She's courteous enough to come on our community affair show in New York, and we talk about her years in the music industry. But ironically, Angelique attended Hampton University around the same time as my wife. And my wife,
around the same time. We were in the same class.
Same class. And it's interesting, Angelique. So your backstory I've always been amazed at your backstory because we talked in person when we got a chance to know each other in New York. And you're a beautiful woman. You do have a scar on your face that happened when you were a young woman. And of course, that story is a story within itself. But you didn't let that ever stop you from doing anything. But I've been following your story, and you actually have turned that situation that was probably a tragedy at the time into an opportunity to encourage others to overcome those obstacles. Can you tell us that backstory?
Yeah, well, when I was 16 years old, I was stabbed in the face by a young lady. I don't even remember what we were beefing about. But I had 150 stitches. And for a long time, I thought, it would be an obstacle. That was all in my head, of course. No one really cared. And now that I have this platform, when I tell people about the scar, everyone's very, no one ever notices it. It's like something that I don't know, maybe internalized because no one really notices it except for me. But it's not just the scar. I also have an autoimmune condition. I have psoriasis, I have a skin condition, being over 50. These are all things that you would think would be an obstacle for me doing what I'm doing, but I'm not doing them in spite of the things I'm doing. I'm not doing it in spite of those things. I'm doing it because of those things. People want to talk to me because of the scar, because I'm over 50, because I have an autoimmune condition. So it's like, whatever you have going on, there's a commonality with someone. There's somebody out there that you have something in common with. I was just looking at this commercial. I think it was Facebook. They had a commercial about the kazoos. Like there was a kazoo club
Yes.
on Facebook. I'm like, anything that you're interested in, there's a group of people that are with you. So there are people who have scars that have contacted me. There are people who have psoriasis or other autoimmune conditions who connect with me, and especially people, not just people over 50, but younger people who are like, how do I look like you at 50? How do I keep my, youthful appearance and spirit at 50 like you do?
It's amazing, Angelique, because again, when we met, you were really working out. You were getting did you feel like it was going to lead to something? Because you were committed to it. I mean, almost every day you're posting the workout. Again, you got me fired up because since then I've gained about 50 pounds. But anyway, never quit Mondays or whatever you say, motivational Mondays. So, but at the time, we talked about a book and we talked about this and we talked about that. And you were like, okay, but did you just have an innate feeling that this fitness thing, was it making you feel so good that you're like, I'm just going to do this and something's going to pop? And then what was the first thing that popped?
I always knew it was going to go somewhere. I just didn't know where and what. I didn't know how to articulate it. Like I kind of knew about brand partnerships, but I didn't know how to go about doing it. And but I knew it existed. And like I said, maybe it's because of my age. Younger people know exactly. When I explain to a younger person what I do, they totally get it. But with people our age, they're like, what? Are you a trainer? And it's like, no, I'm not a trainer. And even then, I knew I did not want to be a trainer. I knew it was going to take me somewhere. Like I said, I just didn't know where or what or how to articulate it. And I would say the first brand I worked with was, I think, Centrum Vitamins. And then it would be very sporadic. It'd be like a brand would contact me like every couple of months or so. And then like in the past year or so, it's just been very, very, very consistent. It has, I've been working with beauty brands and skincare brands. It's expanded far beyond just fitness. It's more lifestyle, I guess now.
And so, Angelique, it started off with, was it Instagram? Was that your main platform? You posting workouts, showing yourself, kind of consistently working out and the results. Is that how you started? Was that the platform you mainly used?
Yeah, fitness. Yeah, Instagram is still my main platform. I have some activity on Facebook, but Instagram is still my main platform. That's where I have the majority of followers, so to speak.
And then I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And so you post, and then all of a sudden, you like you mentioned, that's a great point, because I think, in the 50 plus club, you're right. There's a whole new world out there. The irony is you and I mean, you were in the record industry, so you're in the industry. But like you said, even though we are in the entertainment industry, it's changed. And there's subtle things that pros in it. That's what's funny. Have you noticed, Angelique, a lot of people in our age group who are, very skilled in the field of entertainment don't really understand all the new technology that's out there and know how to make monetize it like you've done.
Right. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. And what makes it so fascinating is that you can be not whoever you want to be, but I essentially make a living off of being myself.
That's a lot. That's amazing, right?
It really is, because I used to have a fear of public speaking, and I still get nervous sometimes. But I had a real fear of public speaking, and I figured out recently, like, I'm getting up here and talking about myself. There's nothing to be nervous about. There are no statistics I had to remember. There's no other, no real information that I had to remember, because I'm talking about myself. So it's like I said, it's so fascinating that we are living in a culture now that you can be yourself and make a living just from that. I mean, the Kardashians were, I guess, the first to do it. They're just living their lives, and but that's essentially what I do. I'm myself, and I think I'm thankful and grateful that it resonates with people, and people want to know more about me. So,
well,
yeah.
Well, speaking of speaking, Angelique, and again, another thing for a lot of us who are in the entertainment business, who are, I guess, considered veterans, what I'm tapping into, I just signed up the other day, was this public speaking piece is a whole other market. And for someone like yourself, that's a multi-million-dollar market. I don't know if you're tapped into it yet, but I'm sure you're heading that direction, because your background in entertainment in the record industry, and now with yourself and all those things you've overcome or even live with, girl, you about to make a bank. I'm gonna stay close to Angelique Miles. I'm staying close.
Well, from your lips to God's ears.
Yes, and we'll talk about that. And so, speaking of that, Angelique, was there? I'm talking with Angelique Miles. Go to Instagram. Look at Angelique Miles. No, it's what's your Instagram?
Angelique Miles.
Angelique Miles.
ANGELIQUEMILES.
You can see what she's doing, and again, the interesting thing is some of those. I mean, again, like you said, it really is you being yourself. It's not like a blatant hit you over the head type thing. You're seeing Angelique with the other day with Cheerios. You know, we're seeing Angelique in a bathtub, right. In a bathtub with some soap. You know what I mean? You're seeing Angelique in some, Ralph Lauren. So it's interesting. Like, it's not a big hit you over the head thing. It's very subtle. And the irony is it feels like all those things are things that you'd be doing anyway.
It's absolutely things that I do anyway. Like I did something with a bicycle company, Electric Bikes. I love their bikes. And I do work with brands that I actually do use, and that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to promote something that I don't actually use. So, it's been really interesting, and I've been lucky enough that the brands that that do approach me are brands that I'm like, I'd love to work with them, you know? So.
And so, Angelique, back then, look at you said, like you said, from my mouth to God's ears. Remember back then we talked about a book with 50 plus. I mentioned you, Halle Berry, the different actresses, actors, entertainment people who are 50 plus, but they maintained their beauty. Is it time? Is it time for you to bust it out yet? What's up?
I've been so busy that I have had no time to write, but it's still on my list of things to do, but things just picked up so quickly and consistently. It's like I had to really make the time to do it. And, I still want to do that. I just have to really get my thoughts and things. I do have some things that I want to do this year that are high on my list. A book hasn't been one of them, but it is still on the list.
I got an easy one for you, Angelique. You can do this with your eyes closed. So, because you guys, again, you have your famous 2-piece swimsuit pictures on your Instagram. You do a calendar with 50 plus people, brothers and sisters. Do sisters first. Call it 2-piece. There you go. Boom. Just in time for Christmas. All the 50 plus, fitness, 50 plus people in entertainment, or people that we know, and then some that we don't. But look, Angelique, I know you got to go to work out, and so I appreciate your time.
I do. I really do.
I know you do. You squeeze me in, and I appreciate that. Hey, keep up the great work. Again, Angelique Miles on Instagram. Follow her. See what she's doing. And again, you can Google her now. Go ahead, Angelique. You're doing the damn thing. I'm just excited because I remember, again, when we talked years ago.
You were there at the very beginning. So yeah. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you talking to you this morning, too.
Definitely. So, Angelique Miles, again, and if you want to reach her, is the best way just Angelique Miles at Instagram? Is that the best one?
Yep, that's the best one.
All right. Have a great workout. Angelique Miles joining us on The Mark. I'm Mark Clark. Download the show, share the show, tell people about the show. Don't forget to listen to me and Allison afternoons on WHUR 3 to 7 each weekday, and www.whur.com. All right. That's On The Mark. I am Mark Clark. Peace.